welcome to Eugene Cannabis TV. You made the trip. You got DanK here, and we got our
Raistlin Majoret.
Yeah, I'll let him say it.
Raistlin Majoret at facebook.com. There you can learn more.
You bet. And he's just getting ready to hit the road and head on down to the Shaky Cities, we used to call it when I drove truck, going down to Shaky. But anyway, I wanted to, first of all, give out a shout. Oh, well, I want to tell you, this is 420, so by the time you're watching this, it's after 420, but we're sitting here on 420, and we've got some stuff to talk about on 420, and we went to, I went to a celebration party for OG Analytical, and we appreciate them inviting, letting us go to that. It was a one-year anniversary celebration and a VIP special. 5 dispensaries helped out with this event: Medication Destination, the Herbal Center, Cannabis LLC, Next Level Wellness, and the Greener Side. The CO2 company and Slipstream were hosts for the event. And by the way, CO2, I tried one of their vaporizer pens, and I like it a lot. Don't know what they cost, but they're sure nice. The event was at the Foundry, which is 580 East 8th. Excuse me. And but as I was enjoying all there was to enjoy on and in the cannabis that was on a side street, I kept thinking of the irony that we were literally kitty corner from the Wayne Morris Federal Courthouse, where I watched my friend Daniel Carl Ernst, or Danbo as we call him, one of the bravest people I know, be sentenced to 15 years. He was railroaded into a pot deal, to a plea bargain that he couldn't refuse. He's in a federal prison on charges that all started with cannabis, and there is no good time or early releases for federal prison prisoners either. So, on this April 4th, I'd like everybody, as we enjoy our freedom and comfort of being close to our loved ones, let's not forget Danbo, languishing in a federal prison for his beliefs that no one should suffer any consequences from the use of a plant. And on November 19, 2013, there were only 3 of his fellow freedom fighters there in support of him. There was a segment on 60 Minutes recently about how the government was building new, unneeded federal courthouses all over the United States. I've seen in our own local new federal courthouse, the Wayne Morris Federal Courthouse, 3 to 4 times, and I've only seen 1 of the 6 courtrooms being used at a time. So it's just a big, complete waste of taxpayers' money. But anyway, speaking of Danbo, I'll be speaking more of him at the 2015 Global Marijuana March on May 2nd. So get a hold of us through the dankbagman.hotmail.com address, and I can tell you the information and what we're going to do with that, and we can sure use some volunteers and get some numbers down there. So I want to start doing the Drug War Chronicles. We haven't read them and gone through those for quite a while, so I've got a few to get caught up on here tonight. So Sean's going to start off. It was
Raistlin, Sean, don't make me.
Sorry. Start off on the other side, on the bottom, and go back to the other way. There you go.
All right.
So, yeah.
Drug War Chronicle, issue 874, 219, 2015. Broad Coalition calls for serious criminal justice reforms in Congress. The spirit of sentencing reform seems to be in the air on Capitol Hill. Now a broad coalition is calling on Congress to get serious about it. Medical marijuana update. The Kettle Falls 5 will have to face federal trial. A bill to fold the Washington state medical market into the recreational one has passed the Senate. There's movement toward dispensaries in Hawaii and Michigan and much more. Drug War Chronicle issue 875. Marijuana is now legal in Washington, D.C. The Initiative 71 Possession and Cultivation Legalization Initiative goes into effect at midnight despite some Republicans' attempt to stop it. First phase of Alaska legalization goes into effect tomorrow. As of tomorrow, it will be legal for adults to possess up to an ounce and grow 6 plants. 3 mature as phase 1 of Measure 2 comes into effect. It's going to take another year for marijuana businesses to be up and running. Federal marijuana legalization bills introduced. Representatives Jared Polis, Democrat Colorado, and Earl Blumnauer, Democrat Oregon, have filed a pair of bills aimed at ending federal marijuana prohibition. Medical marijuana update. Woo. There are medical marijuana bills all over the place. A leading Democratic politician gets targeted for her anti-medical marijuana stance, and the Kettle Falls 5, now 4 trial gets underway. Oh wow. Alabama man killed in pre-dawn SWAT drug raid. The year's 8th drug war death took place in Birmingham, Alabama during a pre-dawn SWAT drug raid. There are unanswered questions.
Yeah, I'll take over here. And this is Drug War Chronicle issue 876. Remember, this is at stopthedrugwar.org.
Oh, okay, I see. All right.
Yeah, remember, this is at the stopthedrugwar.org website, and these are headlines. You can find these stories at that website. We're just going through because there's so many stories that we want you to know what's going on. So, but again, you want to find the details on it, and go to that website. And Drug War Chronicle issue 876, which is was March 5th. Louisiana man gets 13 years for 2 joints. The commutation campaign is underway. The case of Bernard Noble is raising serious questions about race, justice, and profit-taking in the Bayou State. Florida SWAT cop guns down an unarmed man in a marijuana raid. A 26-year-old Deltona man was shot in the face and killed in a SWAT raid over a small-time marijuana sales. Police said he was a threat. His friends dispute that. Maraschino cherry mogul kills self as cops discover a huge marijuana grow. When the cops discovered a huge marijuana grow up underneath a historic Brooklyn maraschino cherry company, the owner killed himself on the spot. I often hear about things like that, and I say marijuana doesn't cause death, the marijuana laws cause death.
Yeah, I was wondering if we could count that as one dead on marijuana use or not, and I'm going to know because the cops made him kill himself.
So we had a lady.
So we're still 0 death.
Yeah, many years ago, we had a lady who lived in Veneta that got caught growing pot on her land, and they were going to take her property, and she committed suicide. Yeah, and so you know, what a waste.
So it wasn't
anyway,
marijuana death.
Yeah. So, then the medical marijuana update on this chronicle is a near total victory for the Kettle Falls 4. California continues to wrestle with medical marijuana. CBD cannabis oil bills pop up, and a Utah medical marijuana bill stays alive. And then we got Drug War Chronicle issue 877, which is the 13th of March. Historic federal bill to legalize medical marijuana rolled out today. For the first time, legislation has been introduced that would end the federal prohibition on medical marijuana. The medical marijuana update, historic federal medical marijuana legislation was introduced and endorsed by the New York Times the next day. California localities continue to make life hard for dispensaries. A Utah medical marijuana bill is killed, and more. California cops sell man drugs in a sting, then gun him down.
Florida.
Oh, Florida, excuse me. Florida cops sell man drugs in a sting, and then gun him down. Putnam County Sheriff's deputies were running reverse drug stings on their own citizens, and when one tried to flee, he ended up dead.
Ow.
So that's our law enforcement at work. So anyway, I had another sheet of those, and the reason I have 2 copies of the same sheet is because I made a mistake and printed this one twice instead of the other one, so I have a short one. So we're a little bit short on material, but we still got plenty to talk about and to finish out this first segment. And I wanted to really thank everybody for watching Eugene Cannabis TV. This is a labor of love for us, and you can always come down to the Community TV 29 studios behind Sheldon High School Monday nights at 7:30. Come on by. We've had a few guests come by, and we always like to have guests come. And you don't have to come on the show. You're welcome to come on the show, but if you don't have to, you just sit and watch and see how it works and how shows are produced. And many thanks to the Television 29 group for letting us use the studios. And we also have some a couple of dispensaries that we want to talk about. The The Cannabis LLC in Springfield is one of our friends and favorites. They're 1936 Maine. So if you want to check out a good dispensary, that's a good one to look at. And also the Herbal Center, which is on River Avenue. That's just about a block or two from where we used to have the Voter Power Resource Building there years ago. But yeah, so that's the Herbal Center, and been in them both, and they're it's a 460. Yeah, the Herbal Center is on 463 River Avenue, which is different from River Road now. It's River Avenue. It runs parallel with 105, and anyway, we wanted to talk about that, and we wanted to be sure and tell people that you can vote in Oregon. We always try to remind people because so many people, it's common in many states that you cannot vote if you're a felon. But the state of Oregon, you can vote, and there's actually a law that specifically says that. So we always want to tell people and spread the word as much as we can. And it struck me as funny this last year that the legalization bill came in. They talk about marijuana reform. It was a good year. The last election was a good year for marijuana reform, and it's also a good year for Republicans. And so it struck me, it's kind of funny, bedfellow, they see politically strange bedfellows, and I thought this is a pretty good example of that.
You know, I was reading that there's all Democrats and not one Republican yet running for president.
You're right, I haven't even thought about it. That's true, interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, every election year I always say, no matter who wins, we lose.
It looks like the Democrats are winning. Where's our freedom fighters at?
Yeah. Another thing that we keep forgetting to talk about is the growers2patients.net website. This is a great resource, and we need to spread the word. It's kind of like an app in that the more people use it, the better it can get, because we need more, more people using it. So anyway, it's called growers2patients.net, and that's growers, plural, with the number 2, and then patients, plural again, .net. And if you're a grower looking for a patient, or a patient looking for a grower, this is a forum that you can go to. You can sign on. There's no charge. It's completely anonymous. And you can meet a grower or a patient, whichever the case is, and then you can take it to a personal level and go to your private exchange, your private emails, and then go from there. So I picked up one of my patients there last year, and it works real well. So I want to let people know. And yes, we want to do the Reynolds oven bags. When you're traveling, always use the Reynolds oven bags. They're very inexpensive, and you can buy them in any supermarket, and the odor doesn't get out of them. So anyway, we're going to be right back.
Where do you get those brochures at?
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. So we're going to back out of here and come back in the second segment. We'll be all refreshed with a whole bunch of new stuff to talk about. And don't forget, as we speak to you, it's 420. So we're celebrating right here, and so yeah, it's 420 and no, it's 418, and we're here. Yeah, right.
And now a message from the American Marijuana Growers Association.
Hi, I'm a farmer, and I work hard every day to grow high-quality marijuana, the biggest cash crop in these United States. I'd like to thank you for your support of U.S. marijuana policy. Because marijuana is illegal, I don't have to pay taxes. Even better, prohibition leads to artificially inflated prices, which means a better quality of life for me and my family, as long as I don't get caught. Just as importantly, your tax dollars support thousands of U.S. agents who work tirelessly to keep low-grade, foreign marijuana out of our country. So thank you, America. And remember, whether you're nauseated from chemotherapy or just in the mood for a nice cool buzz, choose the best pot in the world, American homegrown.
Welcome to the second segment of Eugene Cannabis TV, and you got DanK here and
Raistlin Measure.
So, and it's 420 as we're speaking. By the time you see this, it'll be after 420. But yeah, so. But anyway, I hope your 420 was great, and we'd like to tell you how some things went along in different areas. So.
Well, this is what sane MJ enforcement looks like in one tweet. The Denver Police Department is officially cooler than your police department, by Christopher Ingram, www.washingtonpost.com/blogs on 4/20/15, which was today. As you may have heard, it is 420, the unofficial holiday celebrated by marijuana enthusiasts worldwide. The city of Denver marked the occasion, as it always does, with a massive 125,000 person rally in a local park. And Denver's cops observed the day on social media with a tweet riffing on the lyrics to "Chamillionaire's Dirty," a song about how police go out of their way to pull over and detain young black men, preferably ones with drugs in their pockets. It's better than bad boys. But rather than discuss the evils of drug use or disparage marijuana users, Denver's police simply remind people to consume their cannabis responsibly. In doing so, they provide a template for what marijuana law enforcement might look like in an era of widespread legalization. Some law enforcement agencies, including the Drug Enforcement Administration, have rallied against recent changes in public opinion on marijuana. Denver's cops, on the other hand, are choosing to work within the framework set by that state's marijuana legalization measures. That doesn't mean lax law enforcement. Indeed, Denver PD also tweeted out that it had issued about 100 citations for public marijuana consumption on Sunday. But beyond that, police reported no major incidents related to the 420 festivities so far. In general, crime in Denver is slightly down year over year, so there's no real reason for police to oppose their state's legalization regime. That represents a sharp contrast from a few hours east in Kansas, where an 11-year-old was recently taken away from his mother after speaking up during an anti-drug presentation at his school. The mom, Shauna Banda, now faces a $2,500 fine, up to a year in jail, and permanent loss of custody over an activity that's perfectly legal just across the border in Colorado. Wow. In one final irony, as Colorado smokers enjoy their legal marijuana today, Banda is scheduled to attend a court hearing that may determine whether or not she gets to return custody of her son. Imagine what Kansas is like, no freedom of speech. Wow.
Yeah, well, it's going to be one of the slower states coming around.
Wow, freedom of speech, though, it's like you're living under martial law or something.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I mean, gosh.
And then we have a similar story, a short real quick. This is out of Denver again. This is on the 9news.com, written by Allison
Silty?
Silty, there you go. And this is again on 4/20/2015. 100 citations issued at Sunday's 420 event. Denver Police issued about 100 citations during Sunday's 420 celebration at Civic Center Park. That's in addition to the 60 citations issued Saturday. Most of those were for public consumption, according to DPD. Marijuana tourists have already arrived in Denver ahead of 420 on Monday, an unofficial holiday that celebrates marijuana culture. The origins of the number 420 as a code for marijuana are murky, but it's been long marked as a day to enjoy pot and call for increased legal access to the drug. Recent marijuana use is legal in Colorado. However, people can't use it in public or before they turn 21. The festival in Civic Center Park ends Sunday, but another is planned at Lincoln Park Monday. Organizers say this event will be more of a discussion about the status of legalized pot.
And that might be actually silt.
Okay.
What's the E silent?
It could be.
Silt or silty.
Silt, yeah, I don't know if you pronounce the E or not. So that's how it went in Denver, and we've had our own 420 events here. I was at the Bull Branch about an hour ago, and pretty good turnout there and great music. The Bow Branch is in Franklin Boulevard behind the Dairy Mart. I didn't think they had events there anymore, but they had the annual 420 event there, so that was a lot of fun. And then we've got our normal bean event is up on River Road. So
3825 River Road.
Yeah, but so we'll be up there for the events after the show and help them out with their celebration of 420, April 20. And speaking of 420, 420 meaning the true story of how April 20th became Weed Day. This was by Ryan Grimm, and it's in the Huffington Post, and it was published last year on April 20th. Warren Haynes, the Allen Brothers band guitarist, routinely plays with the surviving members of the Grateful Dead, now touring as the Dead. He's just finished a Dead show in Washington, D.C. and gets a pop quiz from the Huffington Post. Where does 420 come from? He pauses and thinks, hands on his side. I don't know the real origin. I know myths and rumors, he says. I am really confused about the first time I heard it. It was like a police code for smoking in progress or something. What's the real story? Depending on who you ask or their state of inebriation, there are as many varieties of answers as strains of marijuana bud in California. It's the number of active chemicals in marijuana. It's tea time in Holland. It has something to do with Hitler's birthday. It's those numbers in that Bob Dylan song multiplied. The origin of the term 420, celebrated around the world by pot smokers every April 20th, has long been obscured by the clouded memories of the folks who made it a phenomenon. The Huffington Post chased the term back to its roots and was able to find it in a long patch of cannabis in a Point Reyes, California forest. Just as interesting as its origin, as it turns out, is how it spread. It starts with the Dead. It was Christmas week in Holland, 1990. Oakland, yes, Oakland, 1990. Stephen Bloom was wandering through the lot, that timeless gathering of hippies that springs up in the parking lot before every Grateful Dead concert, when a Deadhead handed him a yellow flyer. We are going to meet at 420, on 420, for 420 in Marin County at the Bolinas Ridge sunset spot on Mount Talapas, reads the message, which Bloom dug up and forwarded to the Huffington Post. Bloom, then a reporter for High Times magazine and now the publisher of celebstoner.com and co-author of Pot Culture, had never heard of 420ing before. The flyer came complete with a 420 backstory. The 420 started somewhere in San Rafael, California, aged in the late 70s. It started as a police code for marijuana smoking in progress. After local heads heard of the police call, they started using expression 420 when referring to the herb. Let's go 420, dude. Bloom reported this find in the May 1991 issue of High Times, which the magazine found in its archives and provided to the Huffington Post. The story, though, was only partially right. It had nothing to do with the police code, though the San Rafael part was dead on. Indeed, a group of 5 San Rafael high school friends, known as the Waldos, by virtue of their chosen hangout spot, a wall outside the school, coined the term in 1971. The Huffington Post spoke with Waldo Steve, Waldo Dave, and Dave's older brother Patrick, and confirmed their full names and identities, which they asked to keep secret for professional reasons. Pot is at this point, was still illegal. Well, still is in California. Anyway, the Waldos never envisioned that pot smokers the world over would celebrate each April 20th as a result of their foray into the Point Reyes forest. The day has managed to become something of a national holiday in the face of official commendation. The year's celebration will be no different. Officials at the University of Colorado at Boulder and the University of California, Santa Cruz, which boasts 2 of the biggest smokeouts, are pushing back. As another April 20th approaches, we are faced with concerns from students, parents, alumni, regents, and community members about a repeat of last year's 420 event, wrote Boulder's chancellor in a letter to the students. On April 20th, 2009, we hope that you will choose not to participate and unlawful activity that debases the reputation of your university and degree. And we'll encourage your student buffs to act like with pride and remember who they really are. But the Cheshire Cat is out of the bag. Students and locals will show up at around 4, light up at 4:20, and then be gone shortly thereafter. No bands, no speakers, no chance, just a bunch of people getting together and getting stoned. The code often creeps into popular culture and mainstream settings. All of the clocks in Pulp Fiction, for instance, are set to 4:20. In 2003, when the California legislature codified the medical marijuana law, voters had approved the bill was named SB 420. The code often creeps into popular culture and mainstream settings. Sorry, I did that. We think it was a staffer working for lead assemble sponsor Mark Lino that no one has ever fessed to, says Stephen Schur, head of Americans for Safe Access, which lobbied on behalf of the bill. California legislative staffers spoken to for the story say that the 420 designation remains a mystery, but that both Lino and the state senator sponsor, John Fescanelos, are hip enough that they must have known what it meant. If you are involved with SB 420, you know the story. Email me. So anyway, it goes on, but that gives you the idea of the origin of the 420, and it's still controversial. But anyway, we do celebrate 420 and 420 on 420, and so here we go. So we're going to the 420 celebration. So thanks for watching the show, and again, come on down Monday nights at the ectv.572.2015-04-22 studios, Monday night at 7:30, and just pop in and say
Hi.
hi. You bet. And you're going to be hitting the road.
Yeah,
and
I'm
so,
going on a road trip tonight,
yep.
going down south, going to stop in Medford at the doctor's office there, and hopefully I'll be back down there and up here to buy an RV, so we'll be set up for the Emerald
Great.
Empire Hemp Fest.
All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks.
420.